What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Real Reds Talk, an authentic football fan channel made in Manchester. This is your breaking news show, and the topics on the table for tonight. Kieran Mckenna on the verge of leaving Ipswich for Chelsea or maybe Manchester United. I want to discuss the possibility of that with the lads. Bruno Fernandes has won Player of the Year, voted by the fans. I also want to get into that. Rasmus Højlund has done an interview with a couple of interesting quotes. Alvaro Fernandes has permanently left the club. Is this a huge mistake? We've got a young star coming out of South America linked to join us in the summer. And we've got some interactive stuff towards the end. So smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and get involved in the comment section as we go through the topics on the table. We're going to kick it off straight off the bat, lads. No introductions needed. Kieran Mckenna. Now, a couple of bits coming out. So one from Romano, basically saying that Thomas Frank, Kieran Mckenna, and Enzo Maresca have all been mentioned internally at Chelsea because obviously Poch's gone, which was huge news to a lot of people. Also, Luckhurst has put out there as well, he's open to taking over Manchester United manager should Erik ten Hag leave the club. Chelsea have already held talks with McKenna's representatives, but he is reluctant to rush into a decision amid the possibility of a managerial change at United, who are believed to be his ideal destination. He's a young coach, could fit the Ineos model for the next 3 years, and done a fantastic job at Manchester United. And it's just before I get your thoughts on it, just a little quote I want to read out for you. So this is speaking on United, or his time at United, should I say. So, being at Man United, there was massive pressure. Every loss is a disaster, and the expectation is really high. The scrutiny is really high. It does develop your resilience, your ability to block out noise, your ability to focus on things that are important, and to control what you can control and not worry about the things outside of that. As a manager at any club, that is important. It has helped me a lot. The question is, lads, and any one of you can dive into this, is he ready for this kind of step up, or is it too soon for him? Okay, we'll move on to the next one.
I was expecting Chivy. I was expecting Chivy to jump on it.
Just
but...
to let you know, this is a podcast and people talk. And, you know, when you ask questions, you respond, you give a bit of an opinion.
Me and Chivy are like older, so we're more. We just let people speak first.
Yeah, I was trying to be the polite one, but I mean, I'll go first. I mean, sorry, Nick, what was the question? I forgot already.
Kieran Mckenna. Is he ready for this kind of step up? Jeez, I've just done a big 30-minute intro for that. Fucking hell.
By the way, Chivy, we are live. Like, we're on a show. It's live.
I know. I knew we were talking about Kieran Mckenna. I just wanted to get the question again.
Yeah, context.
I don't know if he's ready. What I heard was Brighton. So I heard there was talks with Brighton. This is what Romano said, I think, yesterday. And I think that's a better fit in my mind. I think that's a better fit for him, because then he can step up to a job where there's not that much pressure, make your bones there. And then in a year or two, Chelsea comes in, United come in, or whoever. But I think it reminds me of Frank Lampard when he was at Derby. Remember, like he was killing it at Derby.
That's a strong comparison, though. A strong comparison.
Yeah, because I mean, at Derby, like they beat us at Old Trafford, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, to be at Old Trafford. I mean, he was flying, and then Chelsea come, former club, he goes right back in, and then we all know how that turned out. And I like Kieran Mckenna. I don't want anything like that to happen to him. I don't want it sort of like a Graham Potter sort of situation where he's hyped up, he goes into a job, and then all of a sudden it's like, once you fail at Chelsea, it's going to be this thing on your back. Like, it's just going to be there. It's going to be like this. So I would like for him to take his time, and if opportunities like Brighton comes, I'd be more than happy, because I really don't know too much about Ipswich, but I know that they play like a controlling style, they play like a one-touch football sort of thing, and that kind of fits into the Brighton model. So I'd love to see him succeed at a place like that rather than take a big job. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was one of my favorite players at United, like my top 5 favorite, and what happened at United with him being a manager almost made me hate him. I don't want that sort of thing with McKenna. So I think he needs to be patient. I think, but it's opportunity like Man United or Chelsea come, like, it's a hard one to turn down. Like, it's tough, man. Yeah.
That was going to be my next kind of point to Sam. Like, if you look at it from the manager's perspective, right, it's just got back-to-back promotions with Ipswich, which is super fucking impressive. you're just about to go in the Premier League and embark on this new journey. Do you look at predecessors who have moved maybe a little bit too quick to a big club and they've sunk like a lead balloon, or do you stick with your guns, maybe move up a little bit to like a Brighton, with all due respect, and then work your way up? Like, how would you handle it? Because like Chivy said, if Chelsea come in and United come in, how the fuck do you say no to them?
Yeah, I think every manager backs themselves, don't they? No matter what the job, no matter how big it is, every manager's like, yeah, I can do something here. Like, if you don't, then you shouldn't be a manager. Like, you need to have that confidence in yourself, otherwise you will fail from day one. And I think that's why Ollie had to be let go from Manchester United, because I just don't think he believed himself at the end. I think he just totally stopped believing in what he was doing. And you can tell
was a big one, wasn't it?
I think it started falling apart, and I think that's what happened there. And again, like Chivy, I liked Kieran Mckenna. I don't want to see him come to United and ultimately fail, because it's too much too soon. And even though he'd probably back himself if he was offered it seriously, he'd probably be like, yeah, I'm taking it, because he'll back himself. And you never know, he might succeed. Stranger things have happened. But I think managers need to take their time and work their way up. I think that's how you gain experience, and you can fail at a smaller level where it's not going to absolutely derail your career going forward. Like, you look at Vincent Kompany now, he's probably going to get the Bayern job. That's a hell of a leap, that, innit? From Anderlecht to Burnley to Bayern is another fucking world. It's like going from, it's like living in Manchester your whole life and then moving to the middle of the Cambodian jungle. Like, it's just a completely different world, man. Like, it's just so different. So I think McKenna needs to take a step up, like Chivy said, and go to a Brighton. A Brighton's a perfect club for him to go. A Brighton, a Brentford, any kind of that kind of club where he's going to get time. He gets to work with players, coaching and stuff, and everything's taken care of above and stuff like that. I think that's the perfect level. Not that I don't think he could succeed, or not that I don't want him to not succeed. I just think it'd be a bit too much too soon, and you can see it happening to Kompany at Bayern. He's just going to get swallowed up by the machine and spat out like every other manager. Chelsea's the same way. Which manager was successful? Like, Tuchel was successful. He won a Champions League and they got rid of him quick. No manager is successful at Chelsea. They all get kicked out. Even if they win something, they get kicked out and it falls apart. So if I was him, I'd either stick with Ipswich or I'd go to Brighton. I wouldn't take any of the top jobs.
Sure, do you think this is probably the most open you've seen the managerial market at the moment? You know, you look at all the coaches that are available, the clubs that are almost struggling to bring managers in. Some are not being a little bit hesitant and not letting them go because of how it is. Like, it's a bit of a bizarre situation at the moment, isn't it?
It is. I mean, I don't remember the last time it was this open. Like, it's been a while, because for years we always had like the usual suspects. Like, if there was like a managerial change here, it'd be like, you had the normal names, the Mourinho's, the Pochers. It was like a select sort of few, you know. But then now, what's happening across Europe is people are looking for younger talent. People are looking for longevity. They're trying to get the next big thing. So now you've seen, you know, Thiago Motta all of a sudden, Amorim, Miguel Sanchez, Arteta, you know, just the new upcoming. It's kind of like that. And everyone is it almost feels like everyone's trying to gamble on the next big thing, because there's quite a few technical coaches coming up now, you know. So it's one of them ones where even here, like, you know, you've got like your Gary O'Neills, you've got your, you know, Will Steele, who was at was it Leo? I think it was at Leo.
Yeah, he's left now, I think.
He's left, yeah. But then, you know, that's sort of more. So it's kind of like wide open. I don't remember seeing it I don't remember it being this open in a very long time. So it's one of them ones. And at the same time, there's clubs who are looking to, like, you know, these big positions are opening in big clubs. Like, there's rumors that Ten Hag could leave, Poch's left. Okay, Ange is safe, but then you go to Europe, and then, you know, if Amorim leaves, there's an opening at Sporting. If Thiago Motta leaves, there's an opening at Bologna. You know, it's just you know, it's so open now.
Yeah, there's a lot of movement. I did a show yesterday, and I was looking at the clubs, potentially looking at new managers. You've got Barcelona, who have been back and forth with Xavi a lot. You've got United potentially get rid of Erik Ten Hag. You've got Juventus, Bayern Munich, Chelsea, Napoli,
Brighton.
And I can go on and on. Brighton and on and on and on. And then the managers that are available: Hansi Flick, World Cup winner. You've got Poch. You've got again potentially Ten Hag, Xavi, Mourinho, Potter. Like, list is endless. So the amount of rotation potentially you could see this summer is going to be probably the biggest landscape shift you've seen in a long while, in my opinion. Yeah. And I think, do you think, just gun to your head, Sam, do you think McKenna will take it, or do you think he'll stick with Ipswich?
The Chelsea job.
Yeah, or Chelsea or United, let's say. Either of them could call in.
I don't think the United job becomes available, so I don't see him going to Chelsea. To be honest with you, I think he'll have looked at the people who've got in. Like Poch got him playing, and he was on his way, and he fell out with him because he couldn't make certain decisions and couldn't control certain things.
Did you touch on that last night? I don't know if you did expand on Poch a little bit as well, because I thought that was fucking mental.
Madness. So yeah, it came out of nowhere. I did touch on it last night. It came out of nowhere, and then there was an Athletic article and a podcast, and he basically said he wanted certain assurances and certain controls over certain players who were leaving, or certain players he could bring in, and certain things, and he wasn't guaranteed it. So basically, they need to sell Trevor Chalobah or Conor Gallagher this summer in order to agree with FFP and all that sort of stuff, because they're homegrown talent, and he wanted to keep Gallagher and Chalobah obviously because they're good players. So they couldn't guarantee that, and then they felt like his training sessions were too intense and he was pushing people too hard and integrating them, and that's what was causing it. There was a lot of fallout basically. So I feel like McKenna has got a lot of leeway at Ipswich, which is why it's worked so well. And I don't think he'd get that at Chelsea, and I think you might see it with the Bayern thing. I think managers will start realising going to Chelsea is not necessarily the good idea. Like, people are turning Bayern down on a record scale, and there's a reason, because the board will chuck you under the bus, and I think it's going to be the same way at Chelsea. I think they're going to find it difficult to find a manager, and I think if he's going to leave, he'll probably go to Brighton, if anything.
I think that would be the good step, in my opinion. I think if he makes that big leap to United or Chelsea, I think he may regret that. But again, it's hard to turn down. You also, at the same time, you wouldn't blame him in that sense.
No.
So yeah, they're going to expect a lot of movement during the summer, which shall be interesting. So make sure you turn on that notification bell, because we're going to be going live when it's transfer news, manager news, Ashworth news, whenever he sorted his emails out, etc., etc.
Have you seen the recent update with that, by the way?
With Ashworth?
Yeah. So he basically said Eddie Howe made his job extremely difficult and his position untenable. Like, he was he didn't want certain players, and Ash was making recommendations and he was turning them down and saying no, and basically made his job like miserable. And then apparently when he was interested in leaving, Howe was really concerned about him having access to the computers and the database and stuff like that, and he made moves. That's basically why he got put on gardening leave, even though he had officially not handed in a resignation. That's why he got put on gardening leave, because they'd heard about this stuff. So that's why he's taken him to arbitration to claim that he doesn't have to serve gardening leave because he hadn't officially resigned, so they shouldn't have put him on gardening leave. It's a whole, you think Coronation Street's got drama? Just watch football, mate. Like, all this backstage stuff is just going on ridiculous now.
We never do anything simple, do we? But yeah, in a world full of change, one ever-present Chive is Bruno Fernandes, who's won Sir Matt Busby Player of the Year, voted by fans, I believe, and the ranking was Bruno first, Dalot second, Kobe Mainoo third, Alejandro Garnacho fourth. Now, we all voted ours on the awards show. Make sure you guys check that out if you haven't watched it already. But I think the majority voted for Diego Dalot. Yeah. But just with Bruno, what have you made of his season as a whole? Because the second half he was good, wasn't he? But the first half there was some questionable performances, in my opinion, at least.
I think it was just a popularity contest, the Busby thing. I didn't even know that, because I thought this scrapped the whole awards thing. So I just didn't know. Sorry, I didn't know that they were giving awards until just before we went on live. It's a popularity thing. I was not impressed with Bruno at all, this season. Based on what I know, based on what his capabilities are, there were lots of times when we needed inspiration in the team. He couldn't provide it. Captain, we needed performances certain times. It was an underwhelming season, and I don't understand. I think people just like him, so they gave him the award. I wouldn't even put him top 3 this season, to be honest. And I just hope, I hope we see a different Bruno next season.
Yeah.
But a lot of it, to be fair, like I've said, we haven't really had that many good performances this season. I think
Yeah, he's not the only one, is there?
he's not the only one, and I think, and I've been saying this for a very long time, it's just the way we play, and it doesn't allow for enough freedom. You see, when football is easy, it becomes enjoyable for players, and then when they're enjoying their football, they can express themselves more, and then they can just play it in their sleep. Like Arsenal just pass the ball, they just have freedom, and it's not difficult. Well, it doesn't look, like they're having it doesn't look toxic or torrid or something. So I think it's it's a bit unfair for me to criticize him, but the reality is I just felt it was a bit underwhelming. To be fair, we've seen him. We know what he can do. We've seen him with Portugal. We've seen it every time he goes off for internationals. He's just banging in goals, But then he comes back and then it's just dreary. So yeah, it's a season to forget, to be honest.
Do you think the relationship with Rasmus is a little bit weird, Sam, in terms of, because under Ole, right, when it was Bruno to Rashford, we'd killed a lot of teams.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I don't see the patterns. I don't see him really connecting. Like, when Ahmad comes on the pitch, you see instantly him and Bruno together, like, fantastic. There doesn't seem to be a link, does there, with the striker at the moment?
No, and again, I think it's down to, like Chivy said, it's style and patterns of play and all that sort of stuff. It just doesn't suit the players that we've got at the minute. Maybe the players don't suit the system. You could argue either way. So I think Rasmus is a guy that needs the ball in behind, but then he seems to be coming deep to try and get on the ball and doing hold-up play. And I don't know whether that's through instruction from Ten Hag or he's choosing to do that. Like, we don't know. So it then makes it difficult for Bruno to play the ball. And I think Bruno is one of those type of players that, much like Rashford or Garnacho, he thinks he has to win it himself. And he just has to take it on board and try and get something. And it's what he does a lot of time. And then he'll ignore a run from Erasmus, or he'll ignore a run from another player and something like that. Whereas, like you said, Ahmad always got his head on a swivel, always got his head up looking for where players are, where he can make the most damage and slide a pass in or get a ball into the box. And I think that's where we struggle. So you've got to hope that next season, whether it's Ten Hag or whether it's somebody else, that they change the way we've been playing this season, because it's just not working. It's not worked. And I doubt we're going to get enough players in to be able to play the system that he's trying to play. Like, you're not going to get in 7-8 players. Like, it's just not going to happen as much as we'd like it to. We'd be lucky if we get 5 in, I think. So he has to look at adapting this system and changing something else to get the best out of the players that he has. Because again, we're not going to sell a load of players either. Like, as much as we'd like to get rid of 10 players, it's just not feasible. You're going to have to keep some of them. So use the players the best of what they're good at and find something that works for them. That's what every manager does. Like, he builds a team, but while he's building a team, he will adapt the system to the players that he has. And I think that's what Ten Hag is lacking at the minute. And I think Bruno, at his best, like Chivy said, you see him in the internationals, he's phenomenal. He's ridiculous. Like, he's an absolute fantastic player.
It helps when you've got Bernardo Silva, João Felix, and
yeah,
all these kind of
but we've got good players in the team. Like, we do have good players. Like, some of them are poor, but like,
there's no connection though, is there?
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's no chemistry. There's no sort of team bonded. Like, there's nothing. It's just a bunch of individuals on a pitch, and we're just going, let's see what happens. Roll the dice.
You know what I noticed about Bruno in Portugal? He almost plays like a second striker.
Yeah.
In Portugal, he's always at the end of the ball.
He's always at the edge of the box, isn't he? He's just on the edge of the box all the time.
Yeah, he's always at the end of it, But then this season, Bruno was deep. Lots of times he's deep. He's
sacrificing
deep
in a sense, but at times you're watching it as a fan, aren't you? And you're going, I don't want you there. I don't want you.
By the way,
what the hell are you doing there? Like, he's deep. Yeah. And then whenever, sorry, go on.
Did you see that? It's a really weird stat. The last 4 Manchester derbies, Bruno has not played in the 10. That's mental, isn't it?
Well, we've never really had. He hasn't really played in the 10 this season.
No, that's what I mean.
We've never really had.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's been crazy. Sometimes I don't want to go off on a tangent, but then sometimes you notice that when Haaland in attack, when Haaland, you look at a winger with the ball, and there's like 5 opposition players between him and Højlund. Like there's so much space. So it's like it's difficult to get anything going, especially when you're so far apart. But I suppose that's a discussion for another stream.
Yeah. No, you're right, and the whole team kind of comes into it as well. You could really go off with a tangent in this. I'm not going to, but yeah, the whole team comes into it. The wing backs aren't pushing up, and then you've got the midfield issues with Casemiro. So Bruno's then got to drop it, and that's why it's been such a disconnect for me whenever you've watched them this season.
You've got Scott McTominay as well, who sometimes plays an 8, sometimes he's a 10, but then he's getting in striker positions, which is positions Højlund should be in. So they're doubling up and getting in each other's way, and you're just like, this is chaotic, man. There's nothing. What are we doing? Like, why is?
There's something Ten Hag said. He said. I remember he said this about Donny van de Beek as well, and he said about Scott McTominay. He says he wants them to arrive in the box. This is what he always says, like arrive on the ball, arrive in the box. And what that says to me is he wants them attacking the ball as well. So when you've got Bruno Fernandes, Scott McTominay, and either Casemiro or Kobe Mino, that's 3 midfielders. Now, and if they're all the way up there, there's loads of space right behind you. See what I'm saying? So I don't like to see McTominay as just play him as a striker.
Yeah.
If you must.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, if you must, but then if he's going to play that arriving role, then you should have cover for that. So you should have your wing backs pushing into the midfield or playing out wide. But then, it's one of them ones where whenever we're playing, we always look like a man less or two players less.
It's 2 passes, isn't it? It's 2 passes for our midfield, and that's it. It's done. You're like,
it looks like 8 men on the field against 12.
But
because sorry, go on.
I think with the last couple of games, he has definitely increased.
He's gone 4-2-2-2, hasn't he?
Yeah, he is actually playing Scott as a striker or Bruno as a striker. Like it's quite flexible in it, and they're rotating in that sense and dropping. And I think that's probably what they're going to do against City in it.
And this is now. If we were playing something similar to what we did with the last couple of games, I wouldn't have had a problem with that. Like I wouldn't have, because I actually kind of like it. I think it was it the Arsenal game? Yeah, it was. So we played 3. It kind of looks like we line up as 4-2-3-1, obviously.
Yeah.
But then in that, when we have the ball and we're progressing it's 3 at the back, and then the wing backs, and then Dalot drops into the midfield. So you have 3, and then you have 2. So there's protection.
Mm-hmm.
So even when Arsenal had the ball, lots of their shots were like from outside. A lot of their shots. So it was like, yeah, it wasn't perfect, but I could see something. Like that was something I was like, okay, this is something that we can kind of.
He's tried something. He's tried something different.
Yeah, finally.
Well, he should have done it fucking 5 months ago, shouldn't he?
Exactly.
That's the crazy thing.
This is the thing, yeah. So finally, so even though like we lost and it hasn't really been good over the last couple of games, but it is something that I can kind of say, okay, yes, finally, this is something I can hold on to and believe that, okay, probably,
The defensive shape has been needed for a long while. Even when you watch Arsenal, as good as they are on the ball going forward, the patterns that they have with the players like Ødegaard, Havertz, Saka, when they're in a defensive shape, they have it's like 4-4-2, but with 2 false nines. So the strikers drop right back, and you cannot break them down. And that's why we're
so disciplined.
Best defensive record in the league. Because you cannot play through him, and it's not exactly. I'm not saying it's easy to do it like that, but you can certainly sit back and keep it tight and say, just fucking stay together.
Yeah.
If we get a draw out of it, it's a draw. It's better than getting slapped 4-0 off Crystal Palace. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tactical naivety from Ten Hag for me. Just very quickly on Rasmus, because there was a couple of quotes, so I just want to kind of skim through this. On his time at United so far, he says you feel an incredible amount of pressure when you're at United. There are eyes on you all the time, on and off the pitch. Because the club is so huge, it takes time to get used to it, but I feel like I've found my rhythm. Luckhurst, on that Luckhurst article, kind of responded to that, which was interested. I think we all remember that, what he put out. He says, I don't understand such an article. I feel like I get the ball if I'm in the right positions. Just for context, if anyone hasn't read the article, Luckhurst put something out after is it Arsenal game or the Newcastle game? I can't remember.
Yeah. Well, he put something out. Like they don't want to pass around.
They don't like him, and they don't think he's any good, and all sorts of
just a lot of Luckhurst nonsense, basically. But Rasmus said, I don't understand such an article. I feel like if I get the ball if I'm in the right positions. I would have liked to get the ball a bit more sometimes, but that's not always possible. It's just another example of something I have to shut out because it's a lot of noise. You have to filter the stories because 90 to 95% of them are nonsense. I had to learn to sort through them because there's not much else I can do. It actually goes on to say about, going to United, like, you get paparazzi one of his first days when he was at the club and, like, all this kind of shit that he's had to deal with. And he's just like, that's the kind of thing I miss. I don't really get any privacy now you're at United, but I bought on you.
Chivy, you remember the thing we were saying on the show we were on? You've seen Training Day, Nick?
A long time ago.
Right, so Denzel Washington.
Denzel.
He's sat in the cafe. We need to get a clip. Get it for the soundboard. But he's sat in a diner with a newspaper, and he's like speaking to Ethan Hawke. And he's basically going, "This newspaper is 90% bullshit, but it's entertaining. Yeah. That's why I read it. I don't read it to be informed. I read it to be entertained." And it's like, that's it. How you got to take football journalism. It's 90% bollocks, but it's entertaining. So that's why you got to look at it.
In regards to his performances, though, he's set the bar with 16 goals, 2 assists in his first season. What are the expectations for next season, especially if another striker comes in? Are you expecting to build on that? Just in general, any kind of expectations on Rasmus?
It doesn't feel like he scored 16 goals. Does that make any sense?
Because it's been in patches. That's why.
Yeah. So it doesn't feel like he scored 16. But I mean, I'm happy for him. It's a good return on your first season. Missing out on injuries and all kinds of stuff, and then obviously everything has gone wrong. I mean, if he's scoring 16 goals in the current environment, imagine what could happen if it's a harmonious, dressing room, or we're playing well. So, yeah, kudos to him. It just doesn't feel like it.
But at the same time as well, there are also things for him to work on, right? In terms of, I think his link-up play can be improved. I think finding space in box at times, he sticks to the defender quite a lot, the centre-back. I'd like to see a little bit more of that. But again, that comes with cohesion, Sam, in terms of the front three, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think they need to play. He needs to make himself more adaptable to the team, but also I think the team needs to be more willing to pass into his strengths as well. He's fucking rapid, by the way. Super quick. Really, really quick.
In the channels when he's running people.
Ridiculous. Like, he did it for Atalanta all the time. Go watch clips. So more balls like that would really help him out. And also, if he gets time and space, you see what he does. Like you saw against Brighton, he comes on, he gets on the ball, he's got time and space, and he just blitzes through about 2 Brighton defenders and then just buries it in the back of the net. At the minute, we've got him playing and trying to play hold-up play, and he's got, like Chivy has said multiple times, in the Arsenal game, he had 5 Arsenal players around him, and then we're putting the ball into him. It's like, what do you want him to do? He's outmarked and outgunned. Like, he's not going to win that situation. And he's been in similar situations like that. So I think we play more to his strengths. But then in the meantime, you're right, he does have to improve that side of his game, because there's going to come times when he has to do that, when we do have to do that in games. But I think if you can get a different profile type of striker, then you've got an option. So like, this might not be a game for Rasmus, or he's struggling out there. We can bring in another guy who's got a different type of profile, play a little bit different. And the defence then has to go, we have to sit off this guy now, because if we get too close to him, he turns us and flips us like a Harry Kane does or an Ivan Toney does. So we need to have that different option. So as much as I like, say, a guy like Sesko, he's too similar to Rasmus Højlund, so it's just going to be like for like. And what's the point? We need somebody who's a different type of striker, a different sort of model that we can use when in games are not going our way, or to give Rasmus a rest. That's what we need this summer. We need it.
Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I remember there was an interview that Rene Mulliston did, who used to be one of the coaches under Sir Ferguson, and he was saying sometimes Ferguson wouldn't even show up to Carrington for a week, but then you have a style of play that works, and then it's easy for the players, and then once they get into that sort of rhythm, and like I was saying earlier, once you're enjoying your football and get into that rhythm, this coaching can only take you so far, because once the players understand themselves, sometimes it's just it's instinctively, it just comes to them. And it's a sort of similar situation with Højlund, where he can get into a situation where the football's free flowing, he knows his role, he understands his players, he knows when to make the run, and it just kind of comes naturally for players like that. So I think with time, if we can get like a proper style of play that is suitable to a lot of players. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being there. We've always been known as a counter-attacking team. Always. That's always been our thing. So I really don't mind that. You know, it worked under Ole. It worked so many times before, and it allows, because we've got rapid players. We've got Ahmad, we've got Garnacho, we've got Højlund, Rashford, like. Yeah, and then now with the whole new offside rule, where it's like, you know this new thing about the offside that's coming in,
semi-automated.
Yeah, I mean, like if you're like, you have to be completely free of the player to be offside.
Yeah.
So Rashford is probably going to score like 686 goals or something.
It's like you said,
So we've got rapid players. If we have a style of football that gets the best out of players like him, I wouldn't mind having an experienced striker starting a game, and then Rashford and Højlund coming in.
Yeah.
Hey, if I'm a defender in the 75th minute, seeing Rasmus Højlund like warming up, mate, it's like that's not what you want. So
like
go on.
We saw like you were saying about instinct and not having to think too much. You saw in 99 documentary, if you watch it on Prime, Cole and York didn't speak to each other on the pitch. They just knew. They knew if he turned, he knew where York was going to be, he knew where the pass would come from, and he knew where the ball was going to be. They didn't have to say a fucking word on the pitch to each other.
That documentary, you gave too much props to Arsenal.
Oh yeah, definitely did. Yeah.
I was like, what the hell, man? Like, we when they were invincibles, like we won the FA Cup that year. No mention of this.
No.
Like, come on.
No.
All right, yeah, and we could also go off on a tangent about the treble for a long time, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But, no, it's okay. I'm going to read out some comments. Charlie Malman at least is a buyback clause in relation to Alvaro Fernandes. That is the next story, so we'll talk about that in a minute. And a sell-on clause and a third clause too, apparently. More clause than a cat. Richie Club Sport, Alvaro apparently wanted guaranteed first-team football, which could not be guaranteed, hence loan with complicated buyback and sell-on. Alvaro wasn't just a happy coincidence. He's gone away to make a man of himself. Whatever type of man he becomes, he will be a benefit to the club. If Erik ten Hag is gone, my gut feeling is it'll be McKenna as the new Manchester United manager. Man City have a similar contract as a standard. It's just smart business. The Premier League takes a lot of getting used to. I don't know if that's in relation to Rasmus. Simon saying, well said, use the players to the best of their ability. Let me know how you're feeling about the City games all the time, because I know you're a blue. But yeah, let me know what you think about the FA Cup final and how you see it going. Ed Barrett saying, you're making one game a week sound perfect now. Can get rid of a lot of deadwood because you only need a small squad. That's a very good point, to be fair.
Good point.
Yeah. McTominay hides when he plays in the midfield. Højlund gets no service at centre forward. McTominay at 9 hack can allow for an extra productive midfielder to let him deal no service. And I think that's why he switched to it. Like I said, be interesting to see if he sets up in a similar fashion against City, or if he goes back to whatever you want to call it, that kind of chaotic style. Now, Alvaro Fernandes, lads. Breaking news on Sky, Team 99. What?
Let me have a look.
McKenna.
McKenna's representative met with Omar Barada and Jason Wilcox last week to talk about taking over at Old Trafford. Interesting.
It's on Sky.
Yeah, Sky Sports News.
Rob Dorset. Wow.
What?
Yeah, Muppeters just put something. Chelsea have notified Ipswich they're interested in McKenna, but Brighton wanting to replace De Zerbi. Sources close to McKenna, whose release clause is about 4 million, believe the 38-year-old would favour a move to United if they ask him to replace Ten Hag. Ipswich are desperate to hold on to their manager and have offered him a new lucrative deal. But yeah, Rob Dorset, United held talks representative Ipswich. That's big news. That's Sky. That's Rob Dorset. It's pretty bang on, to be honest. So McKenna. I know we spoke about it at the start of the show, lads, but that's becoming a bit more of a reality there.
There was another bit as well from Romano. I'm just trying to find it now. Kieran Mckenna is waiting for Chelsea. This is 20 minutes ago. He's waiting for Chelsea. He's received really important proposal from Brighton, but he's waiting for Chelsea. So that's from Romano.
A lot of clubs interested in McKenna at the moment.
Yeah.
A lot of clubs. I think for good reason. Look, he's the back-to-back promotions with Ipswich. It can't be sniffed at. It can't. It is very, very impressive. Not just that, the football as well. I've watched quite a bit of the Championship this season, and he plays nice football. It is. And it's weird because it's this kind of negative connotation with him, if that's the right words to use. When he was at the club with Ole as assistant manager, everyone was giving him shit. as if they was watching training sessions every single day.
They've
Like
both
Carrick
done.
and then
They've both done well.
fantastically
Like
well.
Carrick
Yeah.
almost got a run Middlesbrough to semi-final of the League
Yeah.
Cup. He got him.
Yeah.
Did he get into playoffs? I can't remember if he got
Even
into
when
playoffs.
Sam, even when
They
Carrick
went to the playoffs
taken
last
over
season.
as an
Yeah.
interim manager for like 2 games, it was like you could see straight away the impact that he
He's
had.
got the highest win rates.
Exactly. Are you really clutching there?
Yeah.
Highest win rate.
He beat Ryan Giggs. He beat
Yeah.
Ryan Giggs.
What-
I mean, his first game was against Atletico Madrid at Man United.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't we win that 2-0?
Was it 1-0 or 2-0? He won
2.
it anyway. Yeah, he won it.
Yeah.
Ronaldo and Sancho, I think, scored.
But do you think the fact that, again, I know we spoke at the start of the show, but just because it's like breaking news right now, do you think the fact that maybe because he knows the fabric of the club, he's been there for quite a while, like quite a few years. Obviously, came in through Mourinho, I think it was, as a coach, and then became Ollie's assistant as well. Do you think that's played a factor into Ratcliffe's mind and Ineos and co? Do you think that's something that they're thinking about with this?
I think it's sort of a thing where it's like we're trying to, we're interviewing as many people as not as many people as we can. We're not buying, but we've got like we've got like few people that we're keeping an eye on. And what's the harm in keeping tabs on people? And yes, he's been at the club, he's known. Now you and I and Sam and all the other fans, all we know is that he plays good football at Ipswich. There's a lot more to his personality that we don't know, and these people are aware of. Certain qualities that won't be able to pick off, they will be able to pick on because they've worked with him. They know, these people talk, they know themselves really well. They know, he's got a good head on his shoulders. He's one of them people that, they can kind of see like a future with him. So I'm not surprised if we've had a chat with him to say, listen, if the possibility comes, would you be ready? I'm not saying we've crowned him, but I won't be surprised if we've had a chat with him. And just like they said, in the news story there. So he seems like I hate using this term, but he seems like a good guy. Seems like he's all right.
United fans of the year that they're like,
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. But I'm one of those people that I would hate to hear that. But he seems
like Ollie's post-match kind of stencil. What
I
he
mean,
would say it's like he's a good lad. He works hard.
It could be worse. It could be who was the guy they called Ted Lasso, who's with Ragnick?
Not Jesse March, fucking
Yeah,
AirPods.
that's what I
AirPods
mean.
all the time.
Yeah,
Chris Amas. Is it?
everybody hated him for like no reason. There was no reason. Like nobody knew anything about it, but everybody's just like, I fucking hate that guy. He was just like hated on.
McKenna knows the players well. That's the thing. He knows them very well. So.
And wasn't he like the under 17 or under something? He was
that's
one
what
of
I'm
the
saying.
coaches.
Yeah,
like
under
at youth
Mourinho,
level,
I think he was more like a youth kind of coach, and then with Ollie became took a step up, and then obviously went to Ipswich and did his thing. But if you're Ten Hag, Sam, and you're seeing, in case they decide to replace Eric Ten Hag, why the fuck would you speak to him? You must have it in mind, innit? You've seen things like Martial the other day putting Ten Hag's gone. He's a lot more and more rumours about it. I don't like the fact it's coming out before the FA Cup final, personally.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think all clubs speak to other managers all the time. I think it's always going on. It's always happening. But for some reason, United are just incapable of keeping anything from anybody. Everything leaks at United, like every single thing.
It's because it's United, Sam.
Exactly, that's what I mean.
Intentionally do it.
But it's just it always gets out. Like no matter what, I guarantee you, there's not a single secret like nowadays at United that will not be revealed. The Greenwood thing, the Sancho thing, the Anthony thing, everything gets out. Like don't fucking try keep a secret at Manchester United, because they will find out and people will publish it. And the same things are going on at other clubs. And like Chivy said, if Chelsea or City or this was going on, nobody give a shit. Nobody cares. Like people are City. I guarantee City are talking to other managers in case Pep leaves. I guarantee it. But nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares. So it's because it's United. And it's like, yeah, it sucks because we're United fans, but I don't see anything weird in this. I think good, competent leadership should always be talking to people just in case shit happens. Because you never know in football. Like, things can go wrong in an instant. So I don't see, from what I can read, they've had talks with him. This is not, we're going to replace him. This is just, we've had talks with him. And yeah, it sucks that it comes out.
If you had to,
though, I know. I get it. I mean? But I think this is normal.
Good. It keeps him on his toes. Like, now he knows.
But not for a final, though. I don't want, that's what I'm saying.
It was like, Do you remember Pogba's agent Raiola right before the Champions League game?
Leipzig game.
Just like shit like that. It's just like timing, lads. Come on, timing.
Yeah.
Like let's just not drop this now. But
obviously trying to keep it watertight and have failed miserably. Right, we're going to touch on Alvaro Fernandes because we were just about to talk about that. But let me know your thoughts. McKenna, yes or no? Ten Hag in or out? Quite a few of you have put already Ten Hag in. So I'll take your point for that. But yeah, smash a like on the video as well for us if you can and hit that subscribe button. We're on 5,101. Blew through the first 100 after the 5K, so that's amazing. Keep hitting that subscribe button if you're watching live or later on.
Can I just ask a question? I know we're going to go into Alvaro Fernandes, and I've noticed it a lot online as well. Like, there's a lot of people that are really, really into like Ten Hag in, and I'm starting to feel like I'm missing something. Like, what is it I'm missing? Like, what? On what bit is it? Is it?
I think it's more emotional. Like, people develop like a connection, don't they? Whether it's because of whatever it is, because he's been here a couple of years, he had a good first season. He always had that kind of sentiment to keep hold of it. Even Ole, when Ole was going there, a lot of people were like, "Oh, I don't know if we should, even." And at that point, it's undeniable.
Yeah, if it's a situation where like I like the guy, I want him to stay, then I get it. But I started to think that way. What's happening here? Yeah. But anyway, sorry.
No, go. So yeah, Alvaro Fernandes, Benfica have triggered the buy option clause. Something will probably break now as I get halfway through this story. For Alvaro Fernandes. Deal completed today. Manchester United will receive a fee in the region of €6 million. United will have a buyback clause, matching rights, and also a sell-on clause as well. So implementing the right things there. But how do you feel about that move, Chive, Alvaro? Because there was you two in particular, you and Sam were both a little bit skeptical about it when it first got announced.
I feel if it was under the former regime, I'd be losing my head. But then I have to believe in these guys. I have to give them the benefit of the doubt that they know what they're doing. And when I say these guys, I mean Ineos. And I just have to give them that benefit of the doubt. At least we've put a clause in this one, like a buyback clause. Because with Ghana, we let Ghana go, there was no clause, nothing. So at least in that one. But I would have loved to see him get a chance because I've seen him play. He's fearless. He has the same sort of, I won't say ego, but the same sort of approach to the game like Garnacho. Like they don't fear anything. Like he has no fear, and I think he would have been one of those players to fight for his place. And I was saying it the other time that it wasn't easy getting him from Real Madrid, and just to see us go through that and then just let him go, it's like
€6 million. Like, I've seen some players been sold from Liverpool, like Brewster for £25 million, who just did fuck all.
Years ago.
James Trafford from City, 15 million, and he's been dropped at Burnley because the other keeper's better. Like,
mate, so like for 6 million, he's probably going to go there and develop.
Benfica with the record they have, Sam, with young players, like they're
and
probably turning into a star, won't they?
Yeah, and we're trying to get a left back. We're probably going to end up trying to get 2 left backs.
It's so stupid as well.
And also, maybe the player as well. It's like he doesn't feel like he's going to get a chance.
Yeah, that's true.
Might be wanting to move and stuff like that. So, but I just have a little bit more belief in Ineos now, and I want to believe. I want to give them that benefit of that they know what they're doing, right? So
it's so stupid as well. Like we had 0 left backs all season, and then we had this kid sat there, and you're like, he's actually going to play. He looked good in pre-season. He's actually going to play. Malassia's out for God knows how long. Shaw, unreliable, was in and out. It's like, right thing. Nah, we let him go on loan with a really small fee, and then we're playing.
We loaned in another
loaned the other one.
That's on the medical staff as well. Don't forget.
And then we're playing fucking Dallo and Wan-Bissaka at left back, and you just like and Amrabat and fucking Amrabat. And it's like, why is this kid? Lindelof as well.
Bro, Lindelof.
And fucking Alvaro's playing for Benfica. Benfica do not fucking miss with talent identification. They don't miss. Like, they've got a fucking conveyor belt of just talent coming out all the time, and then they sell them for triple figures. Like, it's just ridiculous. So if they're interested in this kid, that means he's got something. I mean, Chivy watched him in the youth system. Like, this kid's really good. Really fucking good. And I'm annoyed that we let him go. But yeah, at least we've got a buyback clause in there so we can get first refusal if he does turn out to be a star for Benfica, and we can hauling back. But now we have to pay out like how much for a left back this summer when we could have just.
I think it's just going to be, ironically, it's just going to be a gem from Portugal or somewhere. That's the thing they're probably going to do. Because the budget won't stretch. They can't afford to go spend 40-50 million quid on a left back. Simple as that. So they're going to have to go try and find a little jet, like Estepinian at Brighton, for example, cost about like
please,
10 million
go
quid.
to fucking El Salvador.
Yes.
Yeah. Even if he's not talent, just go there and fuck off and don't come back.
Go there.
You shit scouts. Right, what's the last thing we had planned, Sam? Do talk.
So obviously Bruno Fernandes won the Sir Matt Busby Player of the Year trophy. So I have got a selection of previous winners of the Sir Matt Busby Player of the Year trophy, and you guys are going to guess who this player is. I have got clues just in case you can't guess them. But I did have all of them originally, but we've all got lives, like we've got girlfriends, and in Chivy's case, his OnlyFans content has got to make itself as well. So I've only done.
I have a girlfriend.
Yeah. So I've only done like 5 or 6 for now. So yeah, the first one is on screen. So in the chat, get your guesses in.
Obviously, so you're talking early 90s, just by the kick straight away, or even late 80s. I can't.
No, early 90s. You going with
early 90s. Can I go?
Oh, sorry, go on, Nick.
I was just gonna go Robson.
Same.
Not Robbo.
Nope, not Robbo. Some of them, like this one's a bit more difficult. Some of them are obvious, and then other ones a bit more difficult. This is a difficult one.
Okay. Can I get another one?
Go on.
Difficult one. This one.
Yeah.
Difficult. Any clues?
If I give you
Give a light clue, like.
Light clue.
Yeah. This is more your ear. I wasn't even born probably when this.
Well, I think that when he won it, I was 3, so it's 91.
91.
Yeah, I was like a bricklayer then.
Steve Bruce. A bricklayer. Just on the cement on the radio, he's won it. Scraping on the bricks.
There we go.
So,
right,
yeah,
it's Brian McClare. So you guys weren't gonna get it. Brian McClare.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
Brian McClare. Old Chalky.
Yeah.
Tim 99 with Pallister. No, but he has won it before, but he's not on this list. But he has won it before. But yeah. Next one. There we go. A bit easier this one.
I really need to like stretch the screen. Just give me a second.
I can't see it. It's not coming up on mine.
It's there now.
Oh, there we go.
Giggs?
Oh. No.
Not Giggs, no.
Not Giggs.
I can't.
Paul Parker.
All right.
No, not Paul Parker. Good guess though.
Can't. Ince.
Paul Ince.
Yes.
Paul Ince.
Got it. Once I zoomed in, I was like, oh yeah. Shit.
Paul Ince, the governor,
Ince.
as he was known.
Ince, the governor, in midfield.
Yeah.
Paul Ince.
Traitor as well. Played for Liverpool. Disgraceful behaviour.
Yeah.
Right, next one.
Oh, that looks like a difficult one.
Mm.
That almost looks like Lindelof. Do you think? Like, just with the like.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Wait, hold on. Is it a trick one?
Oh,
What do you mean? How's it a trick one? He's a United player who won the Sir Matt Busby trophy. Yeah. It's not a trick one.
It's not fake.
Is this when he won it?
No, it's not when. None of them are when he won it. I've just taken random pictures. Because if I do it when they won it, not Roy Keane. No.
Is that David Beckham?
Nope.
It's got brown hair. Beckham.
This one's no. Ooh. This one's slightly obvious. Lee Sharp's the right area though. You're in the right area.
Slightly obvious.
No, it's slightly less obvious. No,
oh.
Blomqvist didn't win it. He didn't win the trophy.
I don't know.
No.
Hold on.
He got some shit in the 99 documentary, didn't he?
Clue.
Blomqvist?
Need a clue.
It was one of my favourites back in the day.
Dennis Irwin.
No.
Oh, your favourites?
Yeah. If I give you the next clue, you will get it, Nick. So.
I feel like I really should get this.
Do you want the next clue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the first name I got in the back of my shirt.
Oh, didn't you say?
Come on, that's not a fair clue, man. That's a clue.
It's for Nick. Nick should know it.
How the fuck should I? How does that help me?
I still don't know.
Ukrainian.
This one, eh?
Ukrainian. He's a
What,
wing.
Podolski?
Oh,
No.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. Go on, Jimmy, I'll let you get it, mate. I know
No,
who it is.
Podolski.
It was a quid a letter. I remember the story.
Yeah.
That's
Go on.
okay.
Yeah, it does start
We're
with
gonna
K.
sit here for an hour until
We're
you
gonna.
get it.
We're not gonna finish the show until you get this, Jimmy. We're gonna stay here until you get it.
We'll give you a letter every 10 minutes.
Yeah. He's got like 11 letters in his name as well. Like it's a long
I
name.
know. Oh. Just go on. It's right there. I'm gonna be so pissed off when
Give
Right.
it a letter. Give it the first letter.
K
K
A.
A
Yeah.
K A. There's an L in there somewhere.
Yeah, right near the end.
Yeah. Kalatse. Is it Kalatse?
It's
No.
not Chelsea.
Oh god.
It's
Conchel? No, not Conchels. Oh,
Yeah, you got it. You had it. You almost had it.
is it Konchelskis?
Kanchelskis.
Konchels-
There you go.
Chelsea.
Andrei Kanchelskis.
Andre Konchelskis.
Can
Yeah.
I just say as well, all of these players, I were alive when these
Yeah.
won it, so I'm just gonna put that out there.
I forgot what he even looks like. Jesus.
Yeah, Andrei Kanchelskis, Ukrainian
It don't
winger.
look like that now, does it?
Definitely doesn't. Next one. You should get this one, Nick. You were born for this one.
Beckham.
No.
Can't see it.
It's the hair that's throwing me off. It looks like Gaz's haircut.
It is. He's in motion, so his hair's like.
It's not Beckham.
Is he? Was he an academy player?
No.
Shit.
Part of the treble.
Yeah.
Sheringham.
Sheringham, Teddy Sheringham. There you go.
What is that? I was looking at his hair.
Look at it.
That's fucking shit.
Yeah, he's in motion, so his hair's like.
Oh, fucking hell. Wow.
Oh.
It looks like Marv off Home Alone.
He does. He get electrocuted. Just.
Oh shit! Look at that.
I know. Yeah.
Like, Jesus.
Yeah. Teddy Sheringham, old Teddy. Next one.
Yeah.
If you don't get this, Dick, I'll kill you.
Herrera.
There we go. Thank you.
Straight away.
And Herrera.
Well, I didn't even come up on mine.
And
Fast forward
Oh
your
yeah,
stream.
yeah, that is so under.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. There's all of them.
Awesome. So one of them was passed when I was alive. Nice one. Tom.
Two.
Appreciate
Teddy
that.
Sheringham.
Such a fucking
There's
boomer
two.
bias.
There's two. Teddy
Honestly.
Sheringham and Herrera. There's two.
Talk about doing me a favour. Fucking hell. Chivy,
You know-
you should have got more than me on that one.
Well,
Disappointing.
Chivy did take half an hour to guess Andrei Kanchelskis, so.
Yeah. Is it
You
Chelsea?
know what's crazy about that? Because I kept thinking of, you remember the Liverpool defender, Paul Konchesky?
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't
It's in my
remember.
head. I was like,
I'm with you. I see what you mean.
Did he play in the 60s
yeah.
when you were playing your bricks?
He was at Liverpool. Like, did he win the Champions League?
I don't. You're breaking up slightly. I don't have no idea. No idea.
Anyway, if you see me, you probably recognize him. But go on.
No, we we're going to say anything. I think we could just leave it there. It's a nice way to kind of end it in a less serious fashion, I suppose. Everyone in the comments, let me know how you feel about Kieran Mckenna potentially becoming the new Man United manager, according to reports coming out of Sky. And he also been having discussions with his representatives, whatever that means. Let us know your thoughts and feelings, whether you are watching this live or later on. Hit that subscribe button, smash like in the video, and me, Chivy, and Sam will see you guys in the next one. Take it easy, everyone. See you in a bit.
Peace.